Today where I wanted to talk to you about how to get your first 50 software users. And I'm going to discuss step by step what you should do to get your first 50 users, why I'm going through this, etc. But before I do, I want to share with you something that is, in my opinion, very exciting. As you guys know, AI is moving fast and people are building their own softwares, and I love it. I know some people are like, on the hate train where they're like, you can't build something scalable, you can't build something that could handle thousands of users. I disagree. I'll explain to you on here a few things that you can do to make sure that your software is stable and good to use for many. But then also, right now is a weird time because for so long, if people wanted to grow a business and they didn't have the capital for developers, etc., they had to go white label a software. So they would get into a platform like Go High Level or Consolidator, and they would literally have to, sell its features. The problem with that is that when you work backwards in the process, it's always harder to find product market fit. And what I mean by that is you're saying, okay, here's the tools I have. What problems can I solve with it? And you can do it. It's not impossible to do. You can absolutely, by all means, do that. But it is so much easier if you feel so passionate about a problem and you go solve that problem, even if it's a one feature software, you're going to typically make more money because you're not trying to reverse engineer it. I can't tell you how many people don't even know what they're going to sell with their Go High Level, and they're like, I'm just waiting till they complete this. I'm just waiting till they complete that." And I'm like, I literally was selling Consolidate it when it did one thing: take data from your ad account and put it into a Google Sheet. Like that is literally all it did when I first started selling it. And so you can literally start pushing a tool that does just one thing right out of the gate. Now, I do want to say this. People are like, yeah, but is it really a viable market right now to do this with AI? Because the problem is that, there are already so many people who are building their own AI SaaS. Listen, end user business owners, like the everyday local Main Street market business owners, they don't want to build a SaaS. Even if they have the ability to do it, it's still not cost effective. They still have to maintain it just to set up like a Supabase account, have the tokens. They're going to get frustrated trying to integrate APIs. There's so many things that they're just not going to want to do, that there is still a market for people in SaaS. So I am not a fan of this whole idea that SaaS is over. I think what is going to happen though is SaaS is changing, and those who jump on the bandwagon can get here quick. Because here's what's cool. Let's say that you grew a Go High Level SaaS and you had 50 users on it. Let's just do 50 users because it's easy, it's attainable, it's something that you could get. So 50 users, and let's say each one of them are paying you between $100 and $300 a month for it. Let's just say 97 bucks, easy math. So you got a software here that's $4,850. It's doing about $58,200 a year. Your multiple SaaS like that, after having it for 2 years, is roughly going to be somewhere in the realm of $500,000. Now, that's if you never grew past 50 users. God, I hope you can get 50 users in your first 2 to 3 months if you follow the strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you. But I'm just stating is the multiple on a SaaS where you own the source code is so much greater than if you have a multiple on a software like OI Level. You can still probably get a 2 to 3 ROI on your revenue, or 2 to 3 multiple on your revenue for a Go High Level SaaS, but it's not as high as the 8 to 10x multiple that you're going to get on the revenue for a software where you own the source code. And it doesn't matter that it was written by AI. Now, I want to tell you an interesting story that is going to flip into this whole thing here real quick. But in last year, around October, November, I was sick. And I was in this little SaaS group. It was four of us. It was the owner of DashClicks, myself, Danny Vega, Roger Yelvington from Ad Launch, and Micaiah from Funalytics. And we would get on every now and then, do a Zoom. We would share thoughts. We would put stuff in the chat, SaaS related stuff. And Micaiah sent out this thing, said, "Hey, have you guys seen this tool?" And it was lovable. And it was just starting to pick up a little steam, and it was really buggy. It was really glitchy. It's still buggy and glitchy, but it was really buggy. And I sat down, and all of a sudden, it was like the power was in my hands. It was incredible. I started building tools. I started playing with it, but I didn't launch anything powerful with it for a little while. And then this year, March came around and I got sick. No, I'm sorry. Was it what month it was last year. March came around and I got sick. And so I started playing with tools a little bit. In about midsummer, I launched a tool you guys probably remember. It was called Spam Likely. Spam Likely. I did a lifetime deal on it. And keep in mind, I probably had 6 to 8 hours maximum of work put into this software because I was sick. I launched a lifetime deal on it, was able to pull in close to 6 figures from a lifetime deal launch. And then I was just supporting it, maintaining it. I figured, hey, in about 6 months, maybe I'll flip this business or something. And I had someone come through the support chat and said, hey, would you ever sell this software? And I said, well, it's not worth anything. It doesn't have any subscribers that are like on a monthly reoccurring revenue. I've only sold lifetime deals on it to do its initial launch. Like, probably not. And he's like, I like the infrastructure. I like what you set up, but more than that, I even like the domain name. I was trying to buy this domain name and you already had it. And so we started chatting back and forth. I ended up selling them the SaaS and taking an exit on it within 60 days. So I literally went from building a software to exiting that software within 60 days. In total, probably 15 hours of work to pull in over 6 figures of revenue. That's incredible. That's a really cool experience. Now, I've built tons of little micro SaaSes that I've launched out there that you guys don't even know I own, that I've just put out there and it's fun and people sign up on them. But what I've learned the art of doing is how to get users without having to rake in my warm audience emails, being able to convert cold traffic. I've gotten so good at user acquisition. That is what I am excellent at. A lot of people are good coders. A lot of people are good prompters. A lot of people are better tech people than me. The thing that I am really, really good at is getting users to sign up on the platform. And at the end of the day, that's what's going to make money because anybody can rip off your software. I mean, if you can build it on AI, so can someone else. The thing that's going to make you different is your ability to get and keep users. So, how do you do this? Well, here's a problem that I ran into in 2017. You guys may know who Dan Henry is. I learned my marketing of Facebook advertising initially from his Facebook group. I signed up, I was in his group. I had owned my businesses before that. I had done online marketing for my own businesses, but that's where I got the idea of I'm going to go help other businesses. So I got into Dan Henry's group and I ruffled some feathers. There were some things that I didn't like, and I kind of called out some shady marketing tactics, got him in a little bit of hot water. He came back last chat out at me. And because of that, and he had so much influence over others in that area that kind of came up at the same time. I mean, I kind of become ousted. I kind of became known as the guy who he's nice, he's legit, he's good at business and marketing, but we're not going to JV or do anything with him because if we do something with him, it's likely if he finds out what we're doing, he's going to call us out. And that happened more than once. There was a guy who he reached out to me, hey, Ross, would you help run ads for my Instagram course? Sure. I get into the course and or I start getting into his stuff. I'm like, hey, I'll make you a deal. You don't even have to pay me monthly because he was going to pay me like $3,000-$4,000 a month. You don't even have to pay me monthly. If you guys just want to grow my Instagram, I'll do your ads. We'll call it even. Because I didn't know anything about Instagram is, well, we're just buying our followers. Like, and I find out it's all just like, fake farm. I'm like, oh, well, I'm sorry. I don't feel comfortable promoting your course and running ads for it anymore. Tick that guy off real quick. So I kind of became known as this guy that, hey, if you're doing something shady, don't get involved with him because he's going to make you feel guilty or call you out on it. And I'm okay with that. It's good to be known as that guy. Because of that, I never was able to use other people's traffic. That is why I am not a popular influencer. I shouldn't say it's because I'm not willing to succumb to those tactics. If I'm not going to share a screenshot of something that's not mine, I'm not going to pretend I made revenue that I can't back up. So because of that, I just never got that big. And so the strategies I learned are strategies that are a legitimate SaaS company uses. Because if you think about it, No one knew, for instance, who Jeff Bezos was until Amazon came around. Nobody really knew who Apple or Steve Jobs was until Apple came around. Nobody knew Elon Musk until he sold PayPal and his businesses. And the idea is that their businesses would be bigger than them. And I've always done that. Lead Carrot became bigger than me. Consolidata is already bigger than me. And that's what I want to help other people to do. Not try to build a personal brand. If you want to build a personal brand, fine, go ahead and do that. It can be great. You can't take an exit from your personal brand though. You can push things onto it, but you look at even like Russell Brunson. Nobody wanted to touch ClickFunnels. They pretend they had $1 billion offer or whatever it is. I I would bet my bottom teeth that never actually. Maybe there was an entertainment of it, but it would have never actually gone through because the problem is the second he would walk away from the business, exactly what already has happened to his business has happened to it. He lost his influence and his hold over people, and people took a mass exodus from his software. So what would have happened if he would have left? And people who are going to buy a company know that. So what I'm doing is helping and showing people how to actually do this in a legitimate way through SEO strategies, through their ad strategies, through demo strategies, and how to decrease your acquisition costs, increase your lifetime value, decrease your churn. That is the whole game here. Not only do I have a plug and play dashboard for this to where you literally just connect your Stripe account and you're good to go, or fan basis, but I've also got the strategies to back it up. And the reason I bring this up is because Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern, I'm doing my very first series of a SaaS boot camp. It's a 4-week series where I'm literally going to take you from finding product market fit to scaling that offer. And if it wasn't for the fact that I'm selling it so cheap, I'd put a guarantee behind it if I wanted to sell it high ticket, because I believe 100% that if you just start executing on just a third of what I'm going to end up teaching you, you just need one user and the whole thing's going to pay for itself. One user is all it's going to be. But then you've got proven plug and play strategies to grow a SaaS. And I don't care if you're growing your Go High Level SaaS or if you're growing a SaaS that you built on Claude or OpenAI, whatever you've got. It could be a SaaS you've had for years that you just feel like you haven't had a breakthrough yet and you want to start growing it. Now, in 2019, I launched a course called SaaS Mode, and I taught people how to sell SaaS through webinars. And it was an incredible strategy because, and I'll share with you in just a second how that worked, because that is not a part of this strategy. But I sold that training for $2,500. And you know what? I've literally had people message me screenshots where they're already at a multiple 7-figure run rate. I've seen people take exits using the strategies that I taught in that training. In fact, one company was able to very quickly get over $50,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue with insurance agencies using my strategies. It was incredible. The boot camp is only $497. That's why I'm not even building a big fancy funnel or anything like that. It's a fan base. It's like if you want in, boom, here's the link. $497. And you can split it up in 4 or 5 payments if you don't have terrible credit, because we have the little, it's not a firm, I think it's called Zip or something like that on there, where you can apply for the financing if you want to spread that out. But that includes all of the dashboards, the assets. There's no subscriptions you have to pay for or anything like that to be able to get access to it. Now, let me just share one example of a strategy that I used to teach that still works like gangbusters, just so you can be like, is this really something? Does he really have unique things to offer, or is he just parroting the same crap that everybody else is? So back in 2019, and keep in mind, this is not the strategies I'm going to be teaching. This is actually the one that I used to teach in SaaS mode that were one of them that worked really, really good. But I just want to give you a little bit of a sample as to what it's like to learn strategies from me. So back in 2017, I owned a software called Lead Carrot. It was a lead scraper, just like D7 Lead Finder. It still exists. I actually just bought the company back because after I sold it, the company tanked, went to almost nothing, got it back for pennies on the dollar, and I'm going to build it back up and flip it again. But what I would do is I was going to sell it through webinars. And, we were doing SEO, running versus articles, things like that. And that was working great. YouTube, all that stuff. In fact, they kept running for quite a while without doing anything because of what I had done. They were able to make it for like 2.5, 3 year stretch without doing any marketing at all, just because of the marketing that I did. And then eventually it died off. Anyways, I'm doing a webinar one day, and it's an agency webinar on, you guys might remember, if any of you guys have been following for a while, it was a webinar that taught people how to build a sales team. It was called Sales Team Secrets. And the idea is you would build this team of stay-at-home mom cold callers. They would call, set appointments, get $15 per appointment. They would scrape list, which was, I was building the demand for Lead Carrot. And then they would get that once you had all these demos, you could get salespeople to get on those demos, close the demos, and you could automate the sales side of your agency. Well, one day I do a webinar and I pitch it at $3,000, and we would typically close anywhere between 10 and 20% of the attendees that were on the webinar. But then all of a sudden, our support chat just went off on fire inside of Consolidator. And the support messaged me and said, "Hey, Ross, did you just do something? Like, did you just turn on ads or something?" And I was like, "I just did a webinar." Why? They're like, "There are so many people in the support chat right now who are asking questions about signing up for Lead Carrot." And what we found out was that the people who got on that webinar were trying, they couldn't afford to buy the program for $3,000, but a percentage of them wanted to try to figure it out themselves. And they knew that Lead Carrot was one of the key ingredients, because I even showed that in the bonuses as to how this thing is going to work out. We'd sell a ton of Lead Carrot that way. So then what I was like, I'm going to try something. So I put a one-time offer, and it was on a scripts training on the scripts that we use to set appointments, because I thought I'm going to maybe give them one more piece of the puzzle to see if they'll buy that separate. It's not the same thing as the $3,000 program, etc. Every time I would do a webinar, we would sell a ton of Lead Carrot. We'd have a ton of people do that. I literally built Lead Carrot by doing webinars, selling something that was a high ticket offer that wasn't anything with Lead Carrot, but it promoted Lead Carrot enough to where people would go over and buy Lead Carrot because they were trying to figure out the sauce, and that's what they would do. So the way that you can implement something like this is, let's say that you own an AI software. And by the way, people are selling the tool way too much. They need to sell the whole. Let's say you're selling AI bots, and you want to teach people how to get an end result, not use AI bots. So maybe you want to say how to decrease your no-show rate. And you talk to them about the power of AI live transfers. Now, what you do is you go and you do a live webinar selling them on the power of AI live transfers, how instead of having the follow-up at the 60% no-show and all of that, and you get them hooked on it. And then you pitch them a high price. But before you pitch them that high price, you got to make sure that they have seen the software that needs to be done sprinkled throughout the entire presentation. It's all done on your software. That's the tool. And then what you do is you even offer it as a bonus before you pitch the high price. Now they're going to be a percentage of people who buy the high ticket offer, but the others are going to try to figure out how to do this on their own. And if you've done a good job sprinkling your branding throughout it, they're going to go to your page, and you make sure that you have a support chat on it, and you got to have a bump offer on it, like templates or something that's a bump offer for them to do. You will sell a ton of users this way. Then you can go back and even set them into an email drip campaign. Hey, I understand high ticket offer. Maybe you're not in a position to bite the bullet on this right now, but I did want to make you an offer. If you think that you have the time or the skills to do this on your own, the software that we utilize for this, anyone can go sign up for and use. You see, that is how you can angle this and strategically do this. So that is just one little tip here as to how you can, make this all work and go. But there's a lot to that and a lot of nuance that we then taught on, how to execute the webinar, getting the people to sign up, the registrations, all that good stuff. But the point is that tomorrow's boot camp, we're going to be talking about strategies that you don't need an audience. You don't need a personal brand. You just got to have a little gumption, a little willpower, and the can-do spirit, and you're going to be able to pull this off. So if that's something that you want to do, then just let me know. You can type down in the chat SaaS, #SaaS, and I will absolutely send you over a link to get you rocking and rolling. Okay, guys, I got to get going. I got to do a few things, send off a few emails before I take off. I'm actually in the well, not Vero Beach, Space Coast area in Florida, and we're down here until the beginning of March. So we're just enjoying the weather, staying out of the winter. Sorry, there's a little bit of a sun glare, but you guys have a great afternoon. Have a great night. Let me know if you want to join there. Just so you know, and this isn't fake scarcity, this is true. I like my workshops to be quaint because I like to answer questions and go through it and apply it to your SaaS. And for the, I don't, I'm like, I'm going to have this as a replay offer in the future. So like it'll be more expensive because we'll have greater results to prove for our case studies, but we'll probably sell it at about $1,000 in the future. We're only going to let about 10 people in for this 4-week session. That's because I don't have time to like go crazy with getting hands on with every single person because I want to make sure people get results and hold their hands to make sure that I get good case studies for this program. So we've already had about 6 people sign up for the workshop. I just lightly rolled it out over the weekend. And if you want to come in, let me know now because there's only 4 spots left. Um, I'm not going to keep putting three, two. I might put it when we get down to 1 or 2 spots left. But if you want to get in, just hop in. And it's not that I'm not asking a huge amount of money. I mean, $500. It's not that's not going to change any of our lives or my life, but it could change yours because all it takes is being able to have a plug and play system with rinse and repeat users and you're all set. Anyways, have an awesome day.